In today's episode, it's 1985 and the Ford Sierra. Hello and welcome to A Quarterlight, your car brochure channel. The channel that brings you car brochures from around the world, like these ones. For the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s, and sometimes beyond those dates as well. So if you're interested in car brochures or just bringing back those memories, then please do consider subscribing. So today is Ford Friday. Every Friday we look at a Ford. Today is obviously no different. In fact, we're in the middle of a series where we're looking at 1985 Ford full range car brochures in the UK. We've already looked at the little Fiesta. We've looked at the Escort. Last week we looked at the Orion. So now it's a turn of the Ford Sierra. And what we've been doing, we've kind of like been picking one of these. These are different months, so March 85, April, May 85 and May, June 85. Picking the one that makes the more sense to pick, basically. So we started here looking at the Fiesta because we had a special edition Fiesta Dash March 1985. We then moved on to April-May Ford full range brochure because there was a Laser 2 to look at. We stayed with this to look at the Orion. Now we're on to the Sierra, and I thought, oh, let's move on to May-June 85. But can you guess the reason why we can't do that? What do these two brochures have that this one doesn't have in regards to the Sierra? Well, I'm going to tell you. No XR4i in this May-June 85. Have we lost the XR4i already by May-June 85? That did surprise me. So what we're going to do, we're going to stick with this April-May edition and have a look at the full range Ford Sierra. So here is the Ford Sierra for 1985. As it says at the top here, one of the family. I've always liked the Sierra, but of course 1985 was the days before we got the Sierra Sapphire, the booted version, so we still only got this as a hatchback. So for you Cortina owners, you either went to Vauxhall or possibly you was tempted by the smaller Ford Orion, which made a nice saloon actually, and they really tried to make it different from the Escort, which is what we looked at last week. Anyway, the Ford Sierra for 1985, a lovely range of cars in this brochure. Sorry for all the paper crinkling there. We get a little bit of an introduction. We haven't got much time to look through that though. We're going to move straight to base model territory. Yes, there was also still a very basic Ford Sierra at this time, just called the Sierra Saloon. Economical and efficient, the spacious saloon sets the tone for the rest of the Sierra family. I always found it a little bit weird that they refer to these as saloons because really you think of a saloon with a boot, don't you? But here it is as a hatch. But yeah, the basic model, no rear wiper, but at least they're not them black fronted ones, them rare super basic ones when they first came out, but they are still. You don't get much on there, but I guess you do get a lot for your money really, because this is where your range starts, but at least Ford can say your Sierra starts at. And also in this episode, we will be looking at prices to see what those figures are. We'll read the text, we'll come back to the images, we'll check the price out. It tells us delightful to drive and fine for the family. The saloon gets the Sierra range off to a flying start. It's a thoroughly practical, budget-conscious reminder of Ford's renowned ability to offer high quality at a remarkably low price. For economy and efficiency, characteristics that have become synonymous with Ford engineering, there's a choice of engines to optimise the Sierra's fuel-saving aerodynamic assets. Yes, we can still get it as a 1.3. The 1.3 with its variable Venturi carburetor and automatic choke delivers 60 PS at 5700 RPM and 98 Nm of torque at 3100 revs. Top speed is a very respectable 94 miles per hour, while the official fuel figures include 44.8 mpg at 56 miles per hour. The 1.6 alternative, announced in 1984 after an intensive research and development program, delivers 75 PS at only 4900 RPM. It's strong on low speed flexibility, accelerates from 0 to 60 in just 13.2 seconds and has an impressive 103 miles per hour maximum. The 1.6 saloon's lively character belies equally attractive fuel figures such as 46.3 mpg at 56 miles per hour. The urban tests 31.7 mpg highlights the saloon as an excellent proposition for such important roles as shopping and taking the children to school. But the Sierra Saloon is not just a fine performer in town and stretching its legs on a motorway. Fully independent suspension, self-adjusting servo-assisted brakes and light, accurate rack and pinion steering provide excellent ride, handling, cornering and stopping to make the most of tricky rural roads. Drivers are constantly reminded that the saloon's designers blended family characteristics with lessons learned during Ford's long and phenomenally successful involvement in racing and rallying all over the world. It performs like a true thoroughbred. In fact, the saloon is nothing if not a quality car, because in broad terms its advanced specification is shared with the rest of the Sierra range. This 5-door hatchback has a smart body-coloured grille, a lockable cap for the fuel tank and is protected by Ford's comprehensive anti-corrosion process. Externally, the glossy bodywork is shielded by colour-tone bumpers of tough moulded plastic with bright inserts, while smart mouldings guard the sides. There are new standards of comfort and refinement inside. The reclining front seats with height adjustment for the driver and A-frame headrests are trimmed in Lorenzo fabrics. Carpets extend to load area floor and the front doors have storage bins and armrests. There's a soft feel full width fascia, glove box with lid, push button radio and the front seatbelt reels are concealed in the side pillars. With the rear seat backrest up, the Sierra Saloon is a comfortable 5-seater with a large area of luggage space. This is increased when the one-piece rear seat is folded down. The zone dashboard makes finding the right controls easy and the steering column incorporates fingertip controls for the indicators, lights, 2-speed wipers with intermittent wipe, headlamp flashers, horn and electric washers. Front side window demisters are standard along with driver and passenger side door mirrors and a heated rear window. The heater controls are illuminated and the 3-speed blower can change the air in the car every 18 seconds. Safety features include the shatterproof laminated windscreen bonded direct to the body to improve the airflow, childproof rear door locks, passenger safety cell, split line brakes, inertia front seat belts, collapsible safety column, seat belt buckle, clasps mounted on the seats, halogen headlamps, rear fog and reversing lights. The brake system has discs on the front and drums at the rear. All are servo assisted and use a front rear hydraulic split system for safety. Grip comes from 165 SR radials on the 13-inch by 5.5 wheels. So interior, I mean, looking at that door card, it's a real budget orientated interior. Seats very plain, a sea of grey, not very inspiring really, but we do get head restraints. These rather horrendous sort of like A-frame type ones with the see-through parts, so not really comfort headrest, but they're there. But I seem to feel, I think in the UK, even in the UK, head restraints were enforced by this time, I do believe. So from the rear, it really does look basic. It just says Ford Sierra 1.6. This is a 1.6 obviously, but there was a 1.3 as well, as we learnt. No rear wiper, no sort of trim designation because it is an unnamed model below the L, of course. But we are getting such luxuries as these rubbing strips going down the side by this time. Steel wheels with little tiny caps. Ford used to love doing that with their base or lower end models. But overall, a pretty budget orientated car. We could go further, so let's do so. Oh, actually, before we do so, let's see what the price of all this costs. So 3 different prices. So 1.3 was £5,813. Your 1.6 was £6,163. If you wanted the base model estate, it was £6,743. So particularly that 1.3 is quite a bargain for a Sierra, isn't it? So if you really wanted space more than anything, that was a good car to get into, I would say. You could get some optional features, but I always think optional features are a little bit weird when you're trying to cut that budget, get something really cheap, and then you start adding money on it. I think if you got the money, you might as well go up to an L. But anyway, each to their own. Black paint, an extra £94. Metallic paint, an extra £133, which was particularly expensive considering the price point, I think. Tailgate wash white could be had for an extra £105, and then rear seat belts again for another £105. Considering it's the base model though, you get the full range of colours, so diamond white, cameo beige, Rosso red, lacquer red, cedar green, ceramic blue, ocean blue, all no extra cost, so there's still choice there. Black for more money, and then metallics for more money. I guess it would be rare to see. Did they ever do any 1.3 base models in metallic colours? That would be a rare one. Strato silver, quartz gold, nimbus grey, jade green, Paris blue, mineral blue, imperial red were your choices. Let's move up the range though. So yeah, that would be rare, wouldn't it, to have a 1.3 base model Sierra in a metallic colour, because essentially you're picking a metallic colour over going up to a 1.6, so super rare. Can't see any reason you would do that unless there was some kind of like company car reasons why that would happen. Anyway, let's move up. We go to the more conventional Sierra L. We get wheel trims, we get rear wash wipe, we get a nicer front end. Ford's state-of-the-art 1.8 litre engine gives the well-equipped Sierra L the extra sparkle. Yep, so we can move up to a 1.8 at this time, rather nicely. Let's have a look at the text, we'll come back to the images. The Sierra L is a very significant model because it brings Ford's new 1.8 engine into the range, launched at the same time as the standard setting 1985 models. The state-of-the-art power unit features the latest in lean burn technology for superb economy, plus a very strong dash of sporting flavour. Crisp acceleration and a top speed of 110 miles per hour are one side of the coin. On the other, the 1.8 with its standard 5-speed gearbox gives an official 47.1 mpg at 56 miles per hour. Now, I mustn't forget, at the end of this show, I will do that which car report to see how these sorts of cars were faring at this time. What did we think of them as a new and a used car buy? I seem to remember the 1.6s and the 1.8s were a little bit troublesome actually. It's usually worth moving up to the 2 litre. But anyway, we'll look at that later on. It continues to tell us its high technology features also include an electronic ignition system with a twin choke Pierberg carburetor with electronic inlet manifold heater controlled by spark module for cold starts. Moving down the power scale, the Sierra L can also be specified with Ford's 1.6 engine or the 1.3 power unit, so 1.3L, another rare one I would imagine. A fourth option is the 2.3 diesel, designed specially for families and businesses who want quite exceptional fuel economy. The diesel has a 5-speed gearbox as standard. Running on low price fuel, it stretches a gallon over 55.4 miles on the 56 miles per hour test. The Sierra L's level of standard equipment is so high that the price comes as a very pleasant surprise. One of its many advantages is the 60-40 split full rear seat backrest, which enables the versatile hatchback to swallow exceptionally long loads without sacrificing the whole of the rear compartment's passenger space. Folding the smaller section still leaves room for 2 adults to cover long distances in comfort. The rest of the interior is equally impressive with an array of fittings over and above the Sierra Saloon package. They include 5 fabric trim, front seats with adjustable head restraints, remote control door mirrors, a load area light, clock, a push button radio stereo cassette player and a new trinket tray centre console. Outside, the slotless radiator panel and locking fuel cap are colour matched to the body and the bumpers, or colour toned according to the body colour with bright inserts. The wheels are fitted with aerodynamic covers and the body has a side moulding to accentuate the low sleek lines as well as protect the paintwork. An intermittent tailgate wash wipe keeps the rear screen clear. The Sierra L shares all the equipment offered on the saloon: halogen headlamps, 2-speed wipers with intermittent wipe, heated rear window, 3-speed heater blower, servo-assisted brakes and hazard warning lights. Off-the-shelf options open the door to another range of possibilities. They include metallic paint, a screened glass sunroof which tilts as well as slides, and power-assisted steering. And then we get a couple of tiny notes. So it says, when fitting the 2.3 diesel, the Sierra L has the same radiator panel as the Sierra Saloon. So it hasn't got that smooth nose, it's got more of a conventional grille on the diesel, which is what you get on the Saloon model anyway. And it says driving lamps are not fitted as standard on the Sierra L. However, they are available at extra cost if required. Moving up, there is your interior of the L and the seats, door cards of the L. I always think it's a big move up. I'm sure when you saw the L's interior, it completely put you off that base model. Just little things like putting like this little bit of a area in here with a different texture in makes a huge difference. Seats look a lot nicer. We've got these proper headrests now. And by this time as well, we get the smooth nose on the L where we had the more sort of conventional grille type design. I think the smooth nose actually probably suited it a bit better. And what we can only get on the Ghia, we can now get on an L model. So yeah, it's worth doing that. Although like I said, the note said if you get the diesel, you get the more conventional grille. We're also getting these wheel trims now. Looks like we're getting a bit of a body stripe on there. Overall, not a bad L-spec model car, I don't think. I would have been quite happy with that, I think. But yeah, next to each other, I'm sure the salesman would have steered you to the L model. And that's even if they actually had any base model saloons. I think most of them probably went to fleets of vehicles, to be honest with you, as in company fleets. So when we look at prices for the L spec model, we can see there's lots of variation. L models traditionally the most versatile model. So we've got a 1.3 L at the start there, £6,363. Then a 1.6 L, £6,711.99. Then a 1.8 L, £6,888.95. And then that takes us to the diesel at £7,202.09. After that, we've got the estates. So the first estate model up there will be the 1.6. There weren't a 1.3 estate. So the 1.6 L estate, £7,301.90. Then we've got a 1.8 L estate, £7,478. And right at the bottom there is our diesel L estate at £7,792. So more optional features on your L as well. First one up is called the Business Pack. Quite expensive at £322. So the Business Pack, I guess, is more for company vehicles, and it's only on the estate. So with the Business Pack, you get the 1.8 OHC engine, a 5-speed gearbox, ventilated front discs, uprated front suspension, 195 tyres, 1710 kilogram permissible gross vehicle weight, approximately 575 kg carrying capacity, and 1120 kg permissible rear axle load. So I guess it was their businessman moving a lot of things in his estate car, but it's a bit of a weird thing by 1985. Other options were paint at £94, as in black, metallic paint at £133, power steering on your 2.3 diesel, £185. Wow. A 2.3 litre diesel Sierra with no power steering must have been quite the beast to reverse park into a parking spot, I would say. Tinted glass all round, an extra £50. Rear seat belts, extra £105. Sunroof, tilting sliding, an extra £302. Colours, the same as the base model. We then move up to the GL. I always like the GL. It's kind of like the jump from your lower spec cars to your upper spec cars, I always feel, in the Ford range. Always seems to be quite a big gap between an L and a GL, but obviously you address that later with models like the LX. But yeah, I always thought the GL was a nice car all round. It says lively and luxurious. The GL offers a choice of 3 petrol engines and a very frugal diesel. Let's see what it's got to say. The GL sweeps the Sierra straight into the executive class and offers Ford's potent 2-litre engine in addition to the 1.8, 1.6 and 2.3 diesel. Developing 105 PS at 5,200 RPM, the 2-litre gives a 0 to 60 time of only 9.8 seconds. While top speed is a spirited and stable 116. I think that was a nice model, wasn't it? A 2-litre GL Sierra at this time. But the GL, unlike many luxury models, does not involve high running costs and hefty servicing bills. Like the rest of the Sierra range, it is engineered for fuel economy, minimum maintenance, easy parts replacement and a real enjoyment for drivers and passengers alike. The 2-litre engine with its electronic brakeless ignition, twin Venturi carburetor and 5-speed gearbox returns an official 48.7 mpg at a steady 56 mph. The 5-speed is also standard with the rest of the GL's engines. Ford's new 4-speed automatic transmission, optional with the 2-litre power unit, provides overall fuel economy similar to that of the manual 5-speed. Power assisted steering is another attractive option with the 2-litre engine. Luxury is very much the key to the Sierra GL's appeal, and it is much noticeable in the passenger compartment, which is protected from the heat of the sun by tinted glass. The reclining front seats have adjustable lumbar support with height adjustment for the drivers. Chic strobe fabric covers the seats and cut panel carpet extends to the load area. Side bolster cushions trim the rear wheel arches and the horn is repositioned on the steering wheel centre. It shares with the Sierra L the 60-40 split rear seat back rest for the more versatile load carrying, and as a bonus, both the front seat adjustment for lumbar support and the door mirrors are electronically controlled and heated. Rear passengers get a centre armrest. After testing a 2.3 diesel GL, most have commented that its fine ride and handling compromise, good accommodation and comfortable driving position were all well-established Sierra virtues. With the comfort comes technology. The Sierra GL is equipped with Ford's special microprocessor to monitor brake pad wear and oil, except diesel, engine coolant and washer fluid levels. The microprocessor also tells the driver when the fuel is running low, and yet another device monitors brake fluid level. Other additional standard offerings on the GL include an SRT 32p push-button stereo radio stereo cassette player, soft top front centre armrest, glove box with tailgate release and rear cigar lighter, a glove box with interior light, a brightness control for the instrument panel illumination and a tachometer, not diesel. Of course, the GL also shares many of the Sierra L features, which include tailgate wash wipe, 3-speed heater fan, load area light and a quartz clock. And it reminds us on the GL, again, we don't get that smooth nose, we get a more conventional panel for the grille. So there is your GL with the rev counter. Your interior, nice little bit of an armrest for rear passengers, and the car itself. Different wheel trim, we've got a little bit of a red stripe going down the length of the car, bit of bright work around the windows, a nice model all round I would say. But of course it is a jump in price for your GL, so your 1.6 GL, £7,568, Your 1.8 GL, £7,745. Your 2 litre GL, which is probably the model I would have liked, £8,039. So quite a big jump up in price there. 2.3 diesel, £8,058. And then your 1.6 GL estate, £8,158. Your 1.8 GL estate, £8,335. Your 2 litre GL estate, £8,629.60, and your diesel model at £8,648 as an estate car. So still lots of choice for you GL model at this time. But like I say, there is a jump in price, and you certainly have to pay more for your 2 litre, even if that's what you wanted, of course. So not the bargain model of the saloon, of course. Plenty of options for a GL to make it even more special. So auto transmission, £478, central locking, £217, black paint, £94, metallic paint, £133, power steering for your 2 litre, £436, on your diesel that's £185, and then in-car entertainment choices, £137, and then your rear seat belts at £105. We also can choose a sunroof, tilting sliding glass, £302. Windows, electrically operated just on the front, an extra £188. So then we jump up further, so not GLS at this time, of course. We're moving straight to a Ghia, superb equipped inside and out. The lavish Ghia combines prestige and low running costs. So we've only got this, sort of like your luxury version, and then your sporty version of your XR4 to come in the range. The Ghia at this time looked particularly good. Move the camera down. With these rather delightful alloys, I always thought. Okay, let's see what it's got to say. Value for money luxury is the hallmark of the prestigious Sierra Ghia. A car to delight the most fastidious families and business executives. It looks like the proverbial $1 million, even before you take a closer look at the lavish interior. The smooth nose with its discreet air intakes is flanked by halogen headlights, extra driving lights and powerful fog lamps, neatly built into the body tone bumper. Tough mouldings with bright inserts protect the Ghia's glossy flanks. It rides on strong, elegant, easy to clean alloy wheels. The mirrors are electrically operated and heated to maintain visibility in bad weather. All windows have tinted glass and central locking secures the doors. But it's the interior that really steals the show by exuding an atmosphere of tasteful comfort, convenience and refinement right through from the thick, hard-wearing carpet to the Beaumont cloth headlining. The seats are beautifully shaped and trimmed in Savoy and crushed velour fabrics. The front pair of adjustable lumbar supports and the drivers can be adjusted for height as well as reach and rake. Building on the foundations laid by the GL, the Ghia has extra instruments that include Ford's graphic warning module, whose display indicates open doors, bulb failures and even the risk of ice on the road. In addition, the Ghia specification takes in a slide or tilt sunroof complete with a blind. Ford's all-electronic multifunctional ECU1 stereo, radio stereo cassette player with 4 speakers and a powered aerial. A free-function digital clock and electrically operated front and rear windows. The Ghia also provides a very smart overhead console incorporating swiveling map lights. In fact, every facet of the car's character proclaims the influence of Ghia's world-famous luxury styling. But even this superb saloon specification can be enhanced. Ford's optional equipment for the Sierra 2 litre Ghia includes the new 4-speed automatic transmission, a sophisticated air conditioning system, a power-assisted steering and a 4-functional fuel computer on all engines. I'm surprised at this time even the Ghia didn't get power steering. There are 2 engine choices, the lean burn 1.8 and the 2 litre. Both have 5-speed gearbox as standard to combine low fuel costs with performance levels in keeping with the Ghia status. Just as welcome is the fact that in terms of routine maintenance and other run-of-the-mill jobs, this superb car is no more expensive than the Sierra Saloon. So yeah, the Ghia really is a big jump up at this time. Lots of features on there. Obviously, the price is a lot higher. Interior, but like I say, it does seem like a big jump up. It almost feels like a different class of car in some ways at this point. That interesting front end with the lights now in the bumper section. And like we said earlier, those alloy wheels really do suit it, don't they? So how much is all this? So here we go then, the prices, and yes, we're well into $9,000 now. So your 1.8 Ghia was £9,197, your 2 litre Ghia £9,491. Interestingly, you could get estates as well with the Ghia badge. I know Ford were a little bit reluctant with some of its models to say a Ghia is estate, but you could with the Sierra. So your 1.8 Ghia estate, £9,768, and we're pushing the 10,000 now for the 2 litre Ghia estate at £10,062. I did think the Sierra estate Ghia made a rather nice car though. Now, rather peculiar at this time for the Ghia models, they actually reduced the colour range. So you get diamond white, Rosso red, lacquer red, cedar green and black at extra cost. And then a good metallic range of Strato silver, quartz gold, Nimbus grey, jade green, Paris blue, mineral blue and imperial red. I guess there was pushing for you to have a metallic. So we could get options for our Ghia as we saw. So auto transmission £478, black an extra £94, metallic an extra £133. I always thought it was a bit weird that the Ghia you still had to pay extra for those. Power assisted steering on a 2 litre, like I say, you'd think you'd get it by now, but it was an extra whopping £436, and I think it was very much needed. Air conditioning an extra £621, so you could certainly load up your Ghia to make it quite a pricey car. Rear seat belts an extra £105, fuel computer an extra £101. So that takes us to our sporty 2-door, the Sierra XR4i. This sensationally sleek, family-sized supercar is a breathtaking blend of speed and sophistication. The Sierra XR4i is a new breed of family-sized supercar that's stunning in everything but price. Inspired by the Ford Probe's 3 research vehicle, it combines the vivid performance of a true sports car with the space, comfort, versatility and refinement of a lavish equipped 3-door hatchback. Ford's talented design team took the aerodynamic Sierra concept a stage further in their quest for even greater efficiency. The additional drag created by the XR4i's wide, road-hugging tyres is offset by a dramatic biplane spoiler on the shapely tail. The research resulted in improving high-speed stability, less power-sapping turbulence and superior air penetration. These eye-catching features help crop the smooth, flush-screened XR4i's drag coefficient to a sensational 0.32. Under the streamlined bonnet, there's a powertrain similar to that of the highly acclaimed Capri 2.8 injection. The race-winning 2792cc short-stroke V6, fueled by a super-efficient Bosch injection system, develops a lusty 150 PS at 5700 RPM. Motor said of the V6, it remains smooth right up to the red line, and its refinement at all speeds is commendable. Drive to the independently sprung rear wheels is through a close ratio 5-speed manual gearbox that's matched to the engine's characteristics with great care. Supercar performance, as Autocar commented, it would take a very fast car indeed to out-accelerate the XR4i. Their stopwatch recorded just 7.7 spine-tingling seconds for the 0 to 60 mph sprint. phenomenally fast for a roomy 5-seater. Top speed nudges 130 miles per hour. But searing acceleration has not been gained at the expense of a relaxed cruising. At a legal 70 miles per hour, the engine is humming away peacefully at just over 3,000 RPM. That's a key reason why the official fuel figures make such attractive reading. See, by today's figures, 3,000 RPM at 70 isn't great, is it? It should be more like 2 or under 2,000 RPM. But anyway, I guess that's the car and that's the times. With its steel belted 195/60 VR14 tyres and slightly stiffer suspension controlled by sophisticated gas-filled dampers, plus anti-roll bars at front and rear, the XR4i is not just impeccably mannered, it's actually endowed with even greater adhesion and cornering power than the rest of the standard setting Sierras. The braking system, which includes big ventilated discs at the front, has been uprated to make sure the car stops as efficiently as it goes. The XR4i is also a highly refined car with all the ingredients for touring in the grand manner, sports styled. Seats with the drivers easily adjustable for height provide secure lateral location, while the rear seat back splits 60/40 to make the Sierra a very versatile load carrier. Interior equipment includes a sunroof, tinted glass, electric front windows, central locking, a sports steering wheel, superb instrumentation with microprocessor monitoring warning systems, an overhead console, electrically heated and adjusted door mirrors, and very distinctive trim. It also has an appropriately advanced audio system, the all-electronic multi-feature ECU1 stereo radio, stereo cassette unit, power-assisted steering, a 4-function trip computer, and the luxury of climate control. Air conditioning are very attractive options. The XR4i is built to very high standards with strict quality control, the watchword. Like its stablemates, this thoroughly practical supercar incorporates many design features aimed at maximising reliability and minimising servicing costs. Interior, well, you might think it would look a little bit more sportier than that. They could have tried harder with the steering wheel at least, I would have thought. And then there is the interior again. You could think that's almost any Sierra really, couldn't you? It's not gone out of its way to shout sporty. A bit of red in there or something surely would have been better. But on the outside, they do look quite wonderful and very different from the rest in the range, mainly because it is a 3-door, making these very unusual little side windows at the back. And of course that XR4i bi-wing spoiler certainly brings us back to the 80s, doesn't it? Price for all this? £10,731.40. Colours very much limited, solids of diamond white, Rosso red and black, metallics of Strato silver, Nimbus grey and mineral blue. Extra cost options: black £94, metallic £133, power assisted steering £436 and air conditioning in excess £621 and change. Rear seat belts £105, fuel computer an extra £101. So that does complete the range of Sierras. Now we are running out of time a little bit now, we certainly are running out of time, but I have to include this as well, as in we'll just go over the image of it. The estate version, I always thought these were fantastic actually. Some estates don't look quite right. I think the Sierra looked good as an estate. Here showing a 2-litre GL. And we've looked at the prices as well of the estate as we've gone along, and we can certainly see you had to pay a little bit extra for that extra space in the back. But for a family car, I think they were absolutely fantastic. I think if you was in the market for an estate car, I think they were certainly on your short list of cars to look at. I mean, you can see just from that image how much space the extra created, and even before you fold the seats back. But as such, like a family car, particularly for going on holiday, I think they were absolutely fantastic. I think they hit the nail on the head and it kind of like matched, it fitted in very well with the rest of the range. Anyway, just one more thing to do. Let's have a look at that magazine I was talking about to see how we consider these at the time. Yes, the Which magazine. So key facts about 120 popular cars. The Car Buying Guide, 1989. Fits in very nicely with these 1985 full range car brochures because they're not only thinking about it as a new car, they're more thinking about it as buying a used car. So 1985 fits in quite nicely. Now the image is actually showing the Sierra Sapphire because this is 89, of course. That would have been out by this time. So saying the Ford Sierra, undistinguished apparently, 1.6 and 1.8 troublesome, 2 litre better. So not a glowing start. It does, I know it's got the Sapphire on there, but it is also talking about the earlier ones around about 1985 as well. But let's see what it says. It tells us acceleration 1.6, 2 litre auto lively, 2 litre very lively, diesel fair, auto kick down very brisk, 1.3 no mention. Engines neither smooth nor flexible. Gears rather notchy, long travel clutch, very relaxed in fifth, auto smooth. Steering not unduly heavy with fair feel. A bit woolly around the centre. Handling predictable. Rear end grip could be lost in wet or on bumps. Stability poor, especially in side winds. Brakes good. Driving position poor for the small. Problems with pedals. Handbrake. Auto gear selector. Most minor controls and displays good. Several visibility problems. Judging extremities difficult when parking. Poor visors. Seats comfortable for most. Just room for free and back. Ride restless. Worse in back. Noise not excessive in 4-door. Loud at times in 5-door. Some body drumming. Heating good in front. Stuffy in back. Ventilation linked to heater. Good flow. Diesels offered with very bad vibration at tickover. Ponderous gear change, heavy steering, more noise, especially in the back. I was quite surprised with that report actually. It's pretty poor, isn't it, as a report on the Sierra. It tells us a report there for the GL, November 88, 1.6L Sapphire, October 87, Auto in April 86, Diesel September 85, 1.6L 2 litre GL Estate, August 83. So yeah, I was surprised by that. Carfax, tells us servicing every 6,000 miles, DIY easy, getting spares some difficult. Again, a little bit surprised by that. Tells us the depreciation is middling. Top speed for a 1.6 is 100, 112 for a 2 litre, 96 for the diesel, 106 for the 2 litre auto. Acceleration figures there are quarter mile figures. So this one is quite telling, isn't it? It's reliability where actual owners send in their reports of how they're doing. It tells us sample size there, 72, 154, 78 and 73. That's the number of people responding to the surveys. I thought it was quite surprising actually. Tells us a 1600, 87, 88. Faults poor, problems poor. Same for the 84 to 86, but also had poor days off road. The 1800, faults poor, problems poor, breakdowns poor. The 2 litre seems to be the one to get though, and in fact has some above average for days off road and above average for serious rust. Not sure why serious rust would be better on a 2 litre, but there we go. This is your prices new in 89, but we've kind of like looked at the prices, and at the bottom here it's got some used prices showing you price used. A 1 year old was 6,350, a 2 litre GL was 7,350. Basically what this report is really telling us is the 2 litre was the model to go for, although like I say, I was quite surprised how poor that report was for the Sierra. Let me know what you think about that. But anyway, we'll have to wrap this one up. Which model to go for? I would have wanted the Sierra Ghia. I much prefer it actually as these 5 doors than the 3-door XR4i's. I must admit I didn't really like the rear windows and the rear side windows, how they looked. But obviously that's a personal thing. This is the one I would have wanted. Probably couldn't afford it. Would have got a L probably. But thank you so much for watching today. Please don't forget to subscribe. That's all completely free. And if you got to this point of the video, thank you so much. It was a long one, so I appreciate your support watching these. But overall, thank you so much for your time today. At the side here, I'll probably start covering this image up with other videos. The bottom here will be other episodes we missed in this series. And we'll probably have a random one up here. Next Ford Friday will be the 85 Ford Caprice. I'll see you then. Thank you so much. Please take care and goodbye.